and gentlemen, Jeremy here. I need you to pay attention. I'm about to ask you a question, and you need to answer this question. Do not copy off your neighbors. Do not look at anybody else's answers. And when you are done, set down your pen or pencil. You ready? Here's the question. What is today's topic? All right, turn to the person next to you or shout it out. What's today's topic? If you said test, you are correct.
Fads fade. Movements move. God tests to bring out the best. Everybody matters in the body.
All right, how many of you actually like taking tests? Just raise your hand. All right, there's a few of you. Now, if you're anything like me, I would choose recess over test every single day of the week because recess was always fun. You had kickball, you had monkey bars, you had freeze tag where you could tag the boy or the girl that you liked, even though I could never catch her. But that's a whole nother story. Recess was fun. But tests, they're not so fun. In fact, tests can be hard at times. But here's what I learned. You will learn more from a test than you will from recess.
All right, guys. Well, Jeremy talked about how his favorite part of school was recess. So now it's your turn. I want you to turn to the person next to you and tell them what your favorite part of recess used to be. All right, great answers, everybody. Now let's head back to today's topic, tests.
Here are the top 8 tips and tricks to help you pass the test.
Number 1, don't procrastinate. Actually spend time studying.
Number 2, carb load. It will give you the energy you need.
Number 3, don't pull an all-nighter. Get enough sleep.
Number 4, set a backup alarm so that you actually wake up on time in the morning.
Number 5, make sure you go to the bathroom before you take the test. It'll be sure to get all the nerves out.
Number 6, keep your eyes on your own paper. If you get caught cheating, you will fail.
Number 7, don't rush. Pace yourself.
Number 8, stay positive. Positivity leads to success. Those who say I can't, won't.
What used to be your favorite thing about recess?
Recess, but not having to do any homework or put up with teachers.
And not doing schoolwork. The swings.
Touch football and quarterback all the time.
I like to play Foursquare, and it was pretty serious. I got my glasses broken at one point.
If you never had to take a test in one particular subject ever again, what would it be?
History, because I'm terrible at history.
Math.
Science.
Math.
Why math?
Because I'm not very good at it.
What is your tip for passing the test?
Study hard. I don't study, and I just remember things from class.
Except for history.
Yes.
So you gotta study before the test, 10 minutes before, not the day before.
I'd say just fill in random answers, but...
Pray and go?
Exactly. Just kind of guess and check.
Probably to study the day before.
I would say study weeks in advance and then kind of let it go for a little bit and then start on it again maybe a week or so before.
Just know it. Pay attention. Just know it. Just be smart. Use a calculator if you have to, if you want to.
Okay, so we got to hear from you guys, but now let's look at what does the Bible say about tests. We're going to be in James chapter 1, and it goes like this, starting in verse 2. Dear brothers and sisters, when troubles of any kind come your way, consider it an opportunity for great joy. I think I read that wrong. Let me try that again. Dear brothers and sisters, when troubles, trials, tests of any kind come your way, consider it an opportunity for great joy. Now, as I read that, James seems to be way off. When I'm tested, consider that great joy? No. When I'm in the mountain skiing, when I'm on the beach in Florida, the fruity drink, then I consider it pure joy. Not when I'm being tested. But I think James understood something about tests that maybe we don't get. Maybe James understands something about God's curriculum that we're missing. You see, God's curriculum is not to make us comfortable. God's test isn't just to see how much fun we can have. God tests to make us better. God tests to stretch our faith. God tests to make us more like Him. God tests to bring out our best. Now, as a dad, I get it. I test my kids all the time. And so a couple years ago when Life Church came to me and said, hey, we need some kids to test on delayed gratification, I willingly volunteered Titus and Mac. There you go.
So you're gonna help us today, but I've got to go away for a second. So while you wait, I've got this cupcake for you. So you can eat this cupcake now while you wait, or when I come back, I'll give you 2 cupcakes if you wait until I come back. Okay.
So my kids passed the test, that's good. But why does God test us? The answer is found in James, and we keep reading. It says, for you know that when your faith is tested, your endurance has a chance to grow. So let it grow. For when your endurance is fully developed, you will be perfect and complete, needing nothing. So what's James saying? He's saying, hey, God tests us to grow us. God tests us to develop us. God tests us so that we will be complete, lacking nothing. God tests to bring out our best.
It's time to take a pop quiz. Answer the following as fast as you can. Recalling from earlier, how does the rest of this statement go? We grow more from tests than we do from A, growth hormones, B, recess, C, exercise, D, vegetables. The answer is B, recess. What is the square root of 225? A, 15, B, root beer, C, 25, D, 112.5. The answer is A, 15. Fill in the blank. James 1, 2 through 4. Dear brothers and sisters, when troubles of any kind come your way, consider it an opportunity for great A, white sharks, B, success, C, joy, D, revenge. The answer is C, joy. The average of 4 different integers is 75. If the largest integer is 90, what is the least possible value of the smallest integer? A, 1, B, 19, C, 33, D, I don't know. The answer is C, 33.
God tests to bring out our best. With that in mind, I want to look at the early church and the stories found in Acts chapter 6 and chapter 7. And here's what you're going to find. The early church, the Jesus movement has just taken off. It is booming. It's recess. It's fun. It's a blast. Everyone is having a good time, and the church is growing every single day. And when it comes to a movement, you sort of have 3 things you can do. You can either join it, you can ignore it, or you can fight against it. And in this story, people are starting to fight against it. And it begins with a guy named Stephen, who they basically put false accusations on. And when he has to stand up in court to sort of address those charges, he goes to town and he sort of preaches with truth. And as you know, sometimes the truth hurts and the people get ticked off. I'm gonna start reading Acts chapter 7, verse 57 says this. Then they, the people in the crowd, put their hands over their ears and began shouting. They rushed at him and dragged him out of the city and began to stone him. Now this is not, it's more throwing rocks at him. And his accusers took off their coats and they laid them at the feet of a young man named Saul. We'll talk about that later. And as they stoned him, Stephen prayed, Lord Jesus, receive my spirit. And he fell to his knees, shouting, Lord, don't charge them with this sin. And with that, he died. Now, if you're anything like me and you're watching this, I'm wondering, God, where are you at in all this? This movement, this thing that we believe you started, we have given everything to it, and now there's this test. They're killing us. And what began to happen is this persecution broke out. And what persecution means is they could treat you unfairly. And there was now this permission, this license to be mean to Christians, to kill them even. Recess was over. The church was being tested. So what did they do? They called down angels from heaven. The angels killed all the bad guys, and then they went to the beach and hung out at the Red Sea. The end. No. That's not what happened. What happened is they freaked out like many of us would freak out, and they just scattered all over the place. They took off running so they wouldn't be killed or so they wouldn't be persecuted. And it looks like this church has just failed the test. They have just missed it. It's gonna fade. It's all over. They failed the test. But you have to remember, God tests to bring out the best. I'm gonna pick back up Acts chapter 8, starting verse 4. It says, but the believers who were scattered preached the good news about Jesus wherever they went. God tests to bring out the best. And this test, instead of killing the church, did you see what happened? It forced the church to spread. Instead of the movement ending, the movement moved into other communities, into other countries. And there was a change. You see, the church got stronger. The church got bigger. The church passed the test. God tests to bring out the best.
Have you ever had your faith tested?
Yes.
What happened?
My parents divorced. I have, in the past, lost 3 grandmothers to cancer.
I mean, you always have people asking like, oh, why do you believe in this? Or like, that's not real, and you just gotta stand firm.
So what do you do to strengthen your faith?
Surround myself with other Christ followers.
I pray more and I worship more, and I talk to people about what I'm going through.
You definitely gotta read the Bible every day. Like, I make sure I'm doing at least like a plan or 2 like each week.
Have a good, strong friends that know him that you can turn to.
And I serve every Sunday, all hours.
What does it look like to be the church outside of church?
Being the church outside of church means that no matter what situation, you're always showing people what it means to be a Christian.
You gotta make sure you're inviting and just finding like different things to do just to like help serve and help other people.
I mean, you can't just say that you're a Christian and then not like practice it. So like practice what you preach, like go out and help others.
Here's the deal. Tests aren't all bad. Tests can even be good if you're ready for them. And whether you recognize it or not, every week a Switch comes with a test. And yeah, we come here and we have fun and we grow and we learn, but what happens at the end? We scatter. And that's when the tests begin. The tests happen at home, the tests happen at school, the test happens in relationships, the tests happen at work or in sports. The tests come, and when those tests come, the dilemma is this: can you recall what you heard? Can you recall what you learned? And can you live it out? And here's what I've learned. Those tests aren't always easy. Like, do I become friends with the kids at my school who have no friends? That's a test. Do I snap back at my parents when I disagree with what they're saying? That's a test. Do I tell the truth when it would be easier to lie? That's a test. Do I intentionally make time for God each day, or do I just sort of let it happen whenever it happens? That's a test. All these things are tests. And here's the cool thing. Sometimes when we're tested, other people see our answers. Remember the story of Stephen? And they sort of set their coats down in front of a guy named Saul. That guy saw the church being tested, and guess what? He became part of the church. In fact, he became one of the greatest missionaries, and his life was radically changed. His name became Paul. So sometimes our tests help other people become the the best. So at the end of tonight, we're gonna scatter, and the tests are going to begin. And my prayer for you is that you are ready for those tests. And like James says, that you would count it pure joy that you're being tested, because we know that God tests to bring out the best.
God tests to bring out the best